Imagine snagging a brand new to you pickup truck for less than the cost of a mid-range smartphone upgrade. A pint-sized workhorse that slips into a parallel spot with inches to spare, hauls half a ton of lumber without breaking a sweat, and runs an entire week on the gas money most full-size rigs burn before lunch. Sounds too good to last, right? That's exactly what 12 U.S. states decided when they quietly declared war on Japan's beloved K-trucks, turning ordinary owners into instant outlaws. By the time we're done, you'll see why a single viral crash video became regulators' silver bullet, how a shadowy nonprofit scripted the crackdown, and which Detroit Titan has more riding on the ban than anyone else dares mention. They rolled ashore in dusty containers, almost invisible against America's sprawling truck culture. 7,500 of these micro pickups landed last year alone, joining roughly 45,000 other low-speed imports already buzzing around back roads, college campuses, and farmers' markets. Farmers loved them for weaving between orchard rows. Cafe owners adored their thrift. Contractors praised their service body versatility. Tag price? Under 10 grand, barely a seventh of what a new full-size domestic pickup demands. Their cab-forward design shoved the driver's seat up against the windshield, unlocking a cargo bed almost as long as a Ranger's while shrinking the footprint to Miata dimensions. Three-cylinder engines sipped fuel like hummingbirds, insurance bills looked like pocket change, and city parking nightmares vanished. Nothing about them seemed threatening, until lawmakers noticed the loophole that let them in. Back in 1988, Congress slapped together the Imported Vehicle Safety Compliance Act, hoping to wall off cheaper foreign competition with a jungle of crash test rules. But buried inside the bill was a dusty exemption. Any vehicle 25 years or older automatically counted as a classic, exempt from modern safety and emissions hurdles. No one suspected that footnote would become a gateway for thousands of street-legal left-field machines decades later. Raymond Moy, a New Jersey collector with a weakness for quirky Japanese steel, built an entire business on it. Each time a cult favorite model hit its 25th birthday, his countdown posts lit up Facebook groups. Reserve your '99 Honda Acti before the boat fills. What started as a nerdy way to score turbocharged 1990s sports cars soon expanded to boxy K-van campers, then to mini dump trucks, fire service rigs, and refrigerated microbox bodies. The gray market pipeline ballooned from hobbyist trickle to steady freight lane. Once the novelty factor faded, practicality took the wheel. Alex Perkins, production manager at Precision Motorworks, nursed a dying Ford Ranger that coughed oil and hogged a parking space like a beached submarine. In 2020, his boss spotted an imported Honda Acti online and, mostly as a joke, clicked buy. 6 months later, the crew fought over its keys. Fuel expenses fell by half. Tie-down points lined the low-bed walls like switchblade clips, so loads never shifted. Visibility felt like driving an aquarium, Alex joked, because there was nothing but glass and daylight ahead. Parts shipped straight from Japan for less than dinner money. Insurance premiums dropped so far the accounting department double-checked the bill. Soon the Acti was running dump runs, mail errands, and pharmacy pickups that once ate half a day in a lumbering full size. Similar stories multiplied across the country. Kansas mail carriers praising right-hand drive layouts that let them slip envelopes straight into rural boxes. Louisiana landscapers fitting 5 trucks onto one equipment yard slot that used to hold 2. Word spread through YouTube, walk-around videos, and Reddit threads, proving bigger isn't always better. As love letters piled up online, bureaucrats felt the tremor. The Texas Department of Motor Vehicles quietly revoked dozens of registrations in 2021. Instead of grumbling, owners united under the ad hoc banner Lone Star K. They skipped pricey lobbyists and launched a phone blitz, 180 personal calls to state reps in 3 weeks. Farmers emailed spreadsheets showing how mini trucks trimmed fuel spend by thousands. Baristas sent photos of 3K pickups parallel parked where a single F-150 barely squeezed. The pitch was brutally clear. Banning these trucks means forcing small businesses to cough up 70 grand for oversized iron they don't need. Grassroots pressure snowballed. Facebook groups in Maine, Oregon, and Ohio doubled overnight. But an invisible conductor was orchestrating the clampdown from the shadows. That conductor was the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators, a mouthful nobody outside DMV circles ever hears. On paper, AAMVA is a 501c3 best practices nonprofit. In reality, it writes playbooks that every state DMV treats like Holy Scripture. Summer of 2021, AAMVA emailed a 60-page memo labeling imported mini-trucks unsafe for public roads and offering step-by-step instructions to purge them. No public hearings, no freedom of information requests, just an instant template. Maine leapt first, definitions changed overnight, and thousands of perfectly legal tags turned to confetti. Rhode Island followed, copy-pasting the same language. Pennsylvania and Oregon signaled they'd join the party. Owners woke to find their trucks reclassified as off-road curiosities, effective immediately, retroactively, irreversibly. A single video anchored the safety narrative, a 2008 Insurance Institute clip where a shrunken mini-truck vaporizes against a Ford Ranger in glorious slow motion. TV anchors screamed, "Death trap." Legislators held up glossy freeze frames, and the internet did what the internet does, panic share. Missing from every headline were three facts. The mini-truck entered at 25 miles per hour, the Ranger at 35, delivering a combined impact equivalent to smashing into a brick wall near highway speed. The weight mismatch stacked a 1,500-pound featherweight against a 4,000-pound bruiser. And the doomed Tiger Star wasn't even Japanese. It was an American-assembled look-alike with different metallurgy. Meanwhile, national highway traffic safety stats showed pedestrian deaths skyrocketing 46% since 2009, driven largely by hood-high SUVs whose blind zones swallow kindergartners whole. Regulators looked past that carnage to focus laser-tight on the harmless imports. Something smelled fishy. Follow the money and the stench gets stronger. Average domestic pickup prices shattered the $70,000 mark last year, buoyed by thick profit margins that prop up corporate bottom lines. Every $9,000 that sneaks through the tariff wall threatens that cash cow. Remember the 1964 chicken tax, a lingering 25% tariff on imported light trucks? The 25-year loophole sidesteps it entirely. SEC filings revealed a late 2021 surge in state-level vehicle classification outreach, spending from one particular Detroit giant, Ford Motor Company, maker of the very Ranger starring in that viral smash-up. When your business model banks on megatrucks, anything that proves cheaper, thriftier, or more practical must be painted unsafe, exotic, or illegal, whatever sticks fastest. But bureaucratic armor can crack. April 4, 2024, the Texas governor inks Senate Bill 1816, forcing the DMV to reinstate key registrations statewide. Owners pick up fresh plates the very next morning. 1,600 miles northeast, Massachusetts officials attempt their own ban. Two ticked-off small business owners whip up a Facebook group that rockets to 900 members in 10 days, flood Department of Transportation board meetings, and plaster local news with human interest segments about the state-crushing working-class wheels. September 18th, MassDOT buckles, registrations restored, pending further study. Suddenly libertarians, environmentalists, urban planners, and blue-collar entrepreneurs are sharing Discord servers, drafting copy-and-paste legislation, and filing coordinated FOIA requests. The debate morphs from tiny trucks into a broader fight over mobility freedom itself, which leaves us staring down a simple, scorching question. Will Washington side with citizens who prize practicality, or with lobbyists desperate to defend 70-grand price tags? Courts are already queuing cases that challenge whether a state can override a federal import exemption. Journalists are prying into who funded AAMVA's memo and why. And while regulators dither, inflation keeps nudging truck prices higher, squeezing independent tradespeople who can least afford it. Here's the naked truth. If a 1.5-ton, 50-mile-per-gallon micro pickup rattles boardrooms this hard, imagine what happens when Chinese battery-swapped cargo quads or solar panel delivery pods line up at the docks. Today's key truck skirmish is tomorrow's autonomous three-wheeler showdown. If regulators win, your vehicle choice could shrink to whatever protects legacy profits. If citizens win, American streets might finally welcome right-sized, right-priced alternatives that other countries have enjoyed for decades. So, where do you stand? Is affordable, efficient transport worth fighting for? Or should safety standards stay glued to a crash video that compares apples to freight trains? Drop your thoughts below, smash subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive, and remember, sometimes the future of freedom rolls in on the tiniest wheels imaginable.